Now, understandably, the internet is going crazy for the two robotic lady twins in Atomic Heart. But what they don't realize is there's some pretty spicy stuff you can find in-game about the alternative uses for these robots. And I just want to talk to you about those things right now in this video because they're pretty crazy. This video is sponsored by Focus Entertainment, so sit back and relax while I tell you some of the weird details about the robot ladies in Atomic Heart, because the developers knew what they were doing when they created these beautiful robot ladies. But like the whole story behind it is actually super sinister and kind of messed up. And it blew my mind when I found out, so I wanted to share it with you guys right now. So if we go and read all the terminals in the game, you can eventually discover on one of the terminals that our boss requested 2 prototype ballerina robot bodies and specifically requested that they should be disconnected from the neural network and their AI modules deleted before they were sent over. What does he want to do with them, I wonder? Hold that thought, because we then discover in the theater that these robot ballerinas are more commonly, understandably, being used to perform shows for the Soviets. But things get really weird when we then question Charles on if there are any other uses for the robot ladies that we don't know about. This is the response he gives.
Charles.
Yes, Major.
What kinds of shows do they put on here?
Primarily ballet.
Say, are the ballerinas here just ballerinas?
The topic of robosexuality is extremely popular among the Soviet elite. Robosexual lobbies have become quite powerful, and it would seem that the sale of related services is flourishing at the theater. In other words, no, the ballerinas are not just ballerinas.
So, the related services, which you've probably already guessed, are very popular, apparently, among the Soviet elite. So at this point, you're probably going back to the first thing I told you to remember and thinking, oh well, what is the boss doing with those 2 robot twins that he specifically requested? And this is where things begin to get really spicy, because you can actually ask Charles about that.
Do you think the boss knows about this?
What do you think?
Well, given the robots he's chosen as bodyguards, guess he's a robosexual himself.
According to Ozhigov's Dictionary of the Russian Language, the word robosexual is a facetious term for a person who enjoys intimate relations with machines, generally while manipulating...
Okay, I get it. He can go ahead and manipulate whatever he wants. What he does with those androids of his is none of my business. But I gotta admit, they are kinda hot.
I mean, he's right, they're kind of hot. Even my wife thinks so. You can actually check out her reaction here or link down below in the description, but things get even weirder still. And this next part is kind of a spoiler, so feel free to click away now. Because if you start to dig through several more terminals at the facility, you'll discover a very dark secret. Now, very early on in the game, we already know that we lost our memories in Bulgaria due to brain damage. But what we then find out later is during the reconstruction process, you were so obsessed with your wife dying and you couldn't think of anything else that they then decided to implement artificial memories into your brain. So you'd think that you were never married. But the truth is, you did in fact have a wife. She was also an agent who died. But here comes the really sinister dark part of the story. When you asked Charles about your wife, this is what he said.
Was I really married? What was my wife's name?
Ekaterina. And you aren't going to like what I'm about to tell you, Comrade Major.
I've heard that before, but I doubt anything could surprise me now.
You and your wife served with the Argentum unit. Ekaterina, or Katya as you called her, was a highly qualified agent.
And?
As a child, she studied ballet and made significant achievements in both dance and martial arts.
Ballet and martial arts. Are you trying to tell me the boss is metal twins? No way. This is total BS. The boss would never do something like that.
Just look at me, Comrade Major. After I died, my consciousness was transplanted into this glove. After your wife died, her consciousness could not be saved. But Sechenov uploaded an imprint of her professional skills into his bodyguard's matrices.
So yes, that's right. The boss's metal lady twins that he's manipulating on the daily are based on your dead wife's skill set. What did I just play? Atomic Heart is nuts. Your boss turned your wife into his dream robotic waifu. That's mad. Can we just process that for a moment.